Scott Needham. Welcome to my YouTubes. So I'm an Amazon seller. I have 40,000 products in Amazon FBA right now. That comes with a lot of challenges, but with any challenge, I just like to dive right in. I'm gonna do the same with this video, so hang tight. One of the hardest things to know is how to price your product on Amazon. Now, I'm talking about products where you aren't competing against anyone else head to head on the same product page, where you're competing over the buy box. I've covered that extensively on other YouTube videos and on my podcast, The Smartest Amazon Seller. I'm talking about when you're bringing a product to Amazon and you're throwing darts at a dartboard to try and figure out what is the best price. Understand that we're digging into shopper psychology. There's definitely not a hard science here when there's so many changing conditions, and any of these conditions can have an effect. I mean, someone's recent experience at Walmart could be shaping how they're thinking about your product in that moment. I've bought a $12 pair of shoes, H&M once, and that'll teach you a lesson pretty quickly on quality. Then I've also been a bargain shopper and have been actually quite satisfied with that. So how do we win on all fronts? Well, there's three things that I'd like to cover in this video. Price bands, pricing signaling your quality, and bundles to get that sweet spot. Now let's get through the obvious. Higher margins are better. It makes everything in your business easier. So you always want to justify higher margins. I'd say 40% starts to make your business very attractive to me. This gives wiggle room for everything. It means higher spend in advertising will be just fine. So price bands. What do I mean by this? I mean, most people think of their shopping in $5 increments. So think anything under $5, people are hardly considering the price 5 to 10, and you're not really breaking the bank. And in like each $5 increment going up from there, it does change the psychology of like what a shopper is thinking. But what I want to talk about is maximizing opportunity within those price bands. I'm going to bet that between $11 and $14, you don't really think about the specifics of that price. You're rarely judging a product on its own in that range. $11.99 might as well be the same as $13.99. They're both under $15, and I don't think people are really considering the difference that often. Obviously, this changes a lot in your competitive landscape. If in your category, beating someone else by $1 does change that perception. So I think the same is true for like $16.99 to $18.99. These are just in between these price bands, and in my experience, it doesn't really change shoppers' behavior. I have seen though on our top selling products, when you go from $19.99 to $24.99, there is a difference. It could be a matter of from selling 100 a day to 80 a day or 90 a day. But that actually might be more profitable, and I'll let you figure that one out. But in general, I think under $25 is a sweet spot on Amazon. People are rarely considering the price as much of a deal breaker. If at all possible, if I were to design a perfect product, it would be between $15 and $25. That's high enough to get some really good margin, where you could start to advertise on it, and then it's not too high where you start to get a lot of comparison shopping a lot more. Let me just show you a few examples. So here's a product at $9.40. You can see that if it was priced at $9.98 or $9.95, like 50 cents, no shopper is comparing those two prices. This is likely priced at $9.40 to compete against other sellers. These guys are competing for the buy box. I'm trying to really just focus on, when you're not considering competing for a buy box, but this is private label, this is your product, and how do you price it? So this product right here, pretty decent. You could price it at $9.95 and not lose a single sale, as people aren't really considering $9.40. Very different. Okay, another one. Just in a different price band, $12.99. They could be at $13.99 or $14.99 and really not hurt a lot. Again, $18.98 here. So The next thing I wanted to focus on is like how to price against your competitors. As you see here on this product, people are generally really close together. It does matter if you're the cheapest, but I wouldn't always consider, what your competitors are doing. And sometimes you can do better by avoiding them. Here's a quick story. I know someone who was selling ties. These were manufactured in Italy, very nice material, and he was selling them for $25. I think his wholesale cost was around $5 per tie. And so he was selling them for $25 and he just didn't get a lot of traction. But then he raised his price to $50 and sales took off because people wanted quality. They want to talk about that quality tie that they have. Like, hey, yeah, this is Italian made. Oh, it costs $50. So there's a very different psychology that can enter when you start to price above competitors. Yeah, there's those value shoppers, and if you've got a product that targets them, then go for it. But if you've invested extra time in your product, then consider you could be a deluxe. Here's a brand that we represented for quite some time called Butterbell. Honestly, when we started before them, they had less than 100 reviews, and now these products are, some of them are hitting 1,000. And they were the first in this category on Amazon, but there's been a lot of people that have followed them. So this is Butterbell. They're priced at $24.95, $26.95, and even at this higher price, this is a kitchen porcelain product. They sell more than these guys that are copycats. So this one's a copycat right here. There's that Squeeze company, Norpro comes in. Squeeze, yeah, looks like they have really picked up in their sales. But I know as a premier product with better design, they were able to sell more than their competitors by being priced higher. Pricing is often a signal of quality, and you will attract different shoppers at these higher price points, specifically if you have the reviews to back it up. You definitely don't want to be priced higher if your review rating is lower. So I think if you're being priced very high and you've got really good reviews, you're going to get attention from different types of shoppers. So really awesome thing to think about. So the last thing I want to talk about is bundles and how that helps you hit the target price point. So here I'll show you a single face mask. These ones are at $9.99. So what I mean by a bundle is when you take three products, one you have a single product, and then you could consider having more than that and bundling them together in 2, 3, 4, 5 products where you're selling quantity, and maybe you do it at a slight discount. See, for example, this isn't the same brand, but they're selling a single for $9.99 and they're able to sell 3 for $14.99. Again, over here, this one right here is one of the top I think this is the top selling face mask on Amazon right now. It is just a bundle of 3 at $18.95. So I bet you anything when you consider the FBA prices, these guys are making more per mask than these guys, because these guys are paying, everyone's paying the same commission, but this is paying an FBA fee of $2.50 for such a light, small product. And this is still such a light and small product that they can squeeze 2 more in and then actually squeeze more out of the top end. This is probably a gross margin. I'm just going to assume that, let's say a mask costs $1 to manufacture. So this is probably about $10 of gross margin. This one's probably about $4 of gross margin. The thing is, when you have $10 of gross margin, you can afford to advertise a lot more heavily. And so I think bundles are a great way to get to that price point that is optimal for Amazon, $15 to $25. I think this person here would do well. Let's see if they actually did it. I haven't seen. They would do well out of a single and then a bundle of 3. They don't. They're going for this type of variation with all the colors. pretty smart. But if they had on their top selling ones, say on this black and a powder blue, the solid colors I bet would do really well. Ooh, I like this one, the plaid. And if they, on their top sellers, if they started to put bundle packs of like 2, 3, 4, 5, and then raise the price, I guarantee you they'd be doing better. They'd be increasing the average price point, and bringing shoppers to this page would net you more. You'd get a higher return. So yeah, I really think when you're launching products or in your private label, you should always be considering bundles. And but the thing is bundles have a unique pricing thing that they can accomplish for you. That's how this mask became the #1 mask on Amazon. Is they had all these variations, and they were able to put in a lot more advertising dollars on this because of the higher price point. If this was priced at, let's see, $18.95, $6 per mask, it wouldn't make sense. They'd be making only $2. So when you are bringing people here, you're forcing them into a more expensive product. And Amazon sellers, we're all prime. We buy so fast. If you land on this product on your page, you're not even gonna think twice. You're gonna buy it, as is evidenced by the fact that I know this mask 2 months ago. I'm recording this on August 29th. 2020. This had, I could just look at Keepa and show you. Here's the reviews. This chart right here is 68 reviews at the end of June. At the end of June, like beginning of July, I had 121. All of a sudden, it's popped up over 5,000. Yeah, this is the #1 mask. That's how you do things right. Getting your pricing right is absolutely critical here. Sometimes there's a few right answers, but consider all of your options. Thanks for watching. Comment and like and subscribe. I post a lot on Instagram at Smartest Seller because I want you to be the smartest seller in the room.